Hello 213 subscribers, you're watching my favorite YouTube channel. I'm Chill, this is X-Force on this side, and this is New Mutants. And they are appropriately covered in this connecting variant. All the X-Force members are here, and all the New Mutants are here. It wasn't like that in the previous two. This is much more representative of the characters. It isn't representative of the order you should read them. You should read New Mutants before you read X-Force. Unfortunately, the connecting variants go from here to there, so I read X-Force first. I'll review X-Force first, as the title indicated. Let's begin. It begins with some villains, all wearing masks. They're all world leaders. They're all conspiring to kill the mutants. So that's continuing. And there's one character amongst these mutants who didn't have human blood. First of all, they were cutting their index finger. Of all the fingers, you cut this one. This is the most useless. And if you're going to cut a place for blood, why would it be the finger? That's where you touch everything. That's where infections come from. Come on, smarten up. If you're going to cut yourself, literally anywhere else, not your hands though. Maybe over here where you can put a sleeve over it. It's not exposed to the air. Come on, humans. Step it up. So the next line that the person says is, I'm going to need luck. You know, it took a lot of luck to get in here. And we got that epic page turn, which I love. This is when I know a writer is good, when he takes advantage of this maneuver that we have in comic books, and I'll praise it every time. I sound repetitive if you watch my comic book reviews, but I love this. I love not knowing what she's talking about. Luck, could that mean Domino? Yeah, it's got to be Domino. It is X-Force, isn't it? It's Domino. I bet it's Domino. I turn my page, it's Domino. Yay! And there's this page here where she's wearing a black outfit. I'm gonna have to crap on the color artist or the art. No, it'll be the color artist. If she's wearing black, don't give me a black background. She's whooping ass, and I would have appreciated it more if I could tell what was going on. This also happened in the picture later on with Colossus. I couldn't tell where his waist from his legs began, and subjectively did not like that artwork. Was everything else in the comic good? Yes. All the other artwork was great. I shit on artists a whole lot more than I praise them, unfortunately, just because all artists are good. If I don't mention the artwork in a comic, it's because it was good. And if it was exceptional, like Stefano Caselli was doing with Avengers, I'll probably bring his name up. Or like Fantastic Four this week, I'll probably bring that up when I review that comic book. We get to, the artist name, Joshua Cassara, and Dean White is our colorist. Any relation to Jordan D. White? Me and Jordan D. White. Yeah, why not? It's my review. When you make Age of X-Men, when you decide to throw away everything and give me 6 titles of Age of X-Men and tell me that the comic will return to normal by the end of it, what are you thinking? I'm glad that sales went phew. I'm glad that no one wants to buy the trade. And I'm glad that it's being ignored right now. I think you knew everything from Age of X-Men was going to be ignored. I'm acting like Jordan D. White is watching my videos. I think he knew everything from Age of X-Men was going to be ignored, and he was just here for the story. We're just going to tell a good story, have a great time. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be like the X-Men, the familiar characters that you know, in a world that's completely different. Shut the F up. I need things to matter. I need continuity to matter. I need the events in this comic, X-Force number 1. I need them to still be relevant in X-Force number 12, as well as the New Mutants comic book and even the Avengers comic book. This is a connected universe. So when you tell me that things are happening in an else world, and a lot of you suckers, there's people who are going to comment right now and say, no, but chill. That one book by that one writer, that was the good Age of X-Men book. No, it wasn't. It meant nothing. Told you, it was my channel. I can do any side rant I want. Let's go. Wolverine and Beast, they're fighting this monster that's living on the island. So we get some more details on the island. I thought that was the meaning of this talk right here. But no, it served a bunch of quotas. For one, we got to see Logan acting savage. This is X-Force last time I checked. So that we're kind of owed some savagery. We do get that. We get savagery in this comic book coming up later. But then there's also the big line he says. Well, I'll read it exactly from the comic. He says, whatever the hell that thing was, you didn't see it coming because you felt sheltered. That's what Krakoa does. Makes everyone feel safe. And when you're safe, you're soft. You're soft. You're S-A-W-F-T.
That's not how you spell soft.
Swift. So that's a big line for multiple reasons, and we're going to talk about every single one of them. First of all, it sounded good. And then it was very fitting of Logan to say that shit. Remember how old this guy is. He's probably seen the war, the escalation, the paranoia, and then coming back down to, oh, things are great. We don't got to worry about anything until someone innocent passes by way of violence. So that was big on Logan. That's Logan right there. And Benjamin Percy is going to be writing the Wolverine series. Remember that. So new artist alert. Just like who else is new? Teenie Howard from Excalibur. First time I read one of her books. First time I'm reading one of his books. He's doing a good job of the writing. The only problem I really have, I'll get to my problem with him later on. What else did this mean to me? So the introduction of Krakoa and the safety of the mutants had me as a reader thinking, well then they won. Well, how could there be any danger? And this line, they got so familiar. They got so not worried anymore and just believing that mutants could be living merrily. Nope. That's that this line was great for that. And then there's also that this line gets referenced at the end of the comic book after the big kind of invasion slash massacre. Black Tom Cassidy, speaking of debuts, him and his relationship with the Krakoan island, which is all explained in this white page over here. His relationship with the island is neat, and he has a solid place here on X-Force. I thought X-Force would be this mercenary team, but I think X-Force is going to be stuck on Krakoa for a lot of these issues. That'll be interesting. I know New Mutants are away. I can say it. They're in space. We know that the Marauders are going to be out in sea. X-Men, Summers' family living on the moon. And we don't know about Fallen Angels yet. So it looks like X-Force will be the base, just fighting threats, people trying to take the island. That's like interesting. If that's what it is, if they're just a defense team, that would be really cool. The security features of Krakoa, we could read them, but what this really means is any writer will find a way to bypass the pollen that's in the air and the seaweed that's in the water. And this writer himself could be the guy to do it. Who knows? We'll see. Literally, we'll see, because after the Marauders come back, and it's Kate Pride, not Kitty Pride anymore. Let's not call her Kitty, Black Tom Cassidy. Let's call her Kate now. And she's going through some post-marital. They weren't even married. She's going through some ex trouble with her guy Colossus, who's doing the God's work over in Russia. And we get white pages of what Professor X is saying, the message that he sent to the other nations, which is really G. Just really honest. We're going to be fighting you guys with propaganda. We're going to be raising tariffs on Chinese and United States, like the Chinese in the United States. What was it? Oh, who cares? It was a white page. Other people on YouTube are going to review the white pages, and I'm here for all of that. I love watching other people review the white pages so that I don't have to. I got to be different from everyone else. So white pages were a thing. This page was 2 pages just showing you the plane hijackers who are going to, well, not just plane hijackers, they're also the Krakoan invaders. Now we get to the part where Professor X takes a drink of the bubble, a little bit of the bubble.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
And there's something in this drink, right? And I'm supposed to feel scared, right? But then I remembered there's no threat of him losing his life. Maybe the helmet being destroyed, possibly, but him losing his life, there's no threat there. He can be resurrected. That's a problem with the gold balls, with the 5 people who can resurrect mutants. The threat of, ooh, his lips are right on that glass. He's about to sip it. We know that they all can revive themselves. And that's a problem. That's something I need to go away sooner rather than later. But the point was it brought back all the dead mutants so that everyone can just start all over again and write good stories. I know the point of reviving everyone from the dead. It does need to go away because stakes, I need my stakes to matter. And Domino's been away from them. I think 60 days is the maximum you can go before they start doing stuff. But she was been off the radar for over a week until she shows back up on the radar. Just remember that. Just remember that from House of 10, from House of X issue number 4. If they're gone for over 5, if they're gone for over 60 days, then it's time to bring them back. They're assumed dead. That's too cheap, man. We need to get rid of teleporters. And who else would be? A teleporter, anyone dealing with time. There's just certain mutants who just need to be gone and stay gone. Healers too. We get to the battle where they parachute in. Now, I didn't like that they parachuted in, especially on a nation of mutants. Yeah, what Logan was saying, we all feel safe when we're getting complacent. That's true. Still a nation of mutants. I still needed, who Who could anyone with a long range attack? Who Cyclops was on the moon. Somebody. We got telepaths. We got Hellion is on the island. He could use his telekinesis to bring things down. It shouldn't have ever gotten that crazy where they 4 human beings could just come in. Yeah, they got the psychic protectors, which we know humans have access to. If you're reading Immortal Hulk issue 23, 22 actually, or maybe it's both. But there is psychic helmets that the humans have access to, and since they're with Orcus and they're with every human being nation in the world was represented in that circle. So in the round table meeting in the beginning of the comic book, we know that shit's crazy. They have access to every, but still, it's 4 people. 4 people who get to the target, who's Professor X, and seemingly kill him dead. He's been back. He'll be back, and they were all shocked at something. Is it possible that Aaron, Professor Thorgy on YouTube, predicted this? That Professor X is covering his forehead because there's a sinister ruby on his forehead. Could that be what Jean was so shocked at the end of the comic book? That's where I'm leaning towards. It was Professor. She's kind of like no, reaching over, and Logan's got red in his eyes. So that's what I'm looking at. Again, I gotta give credit to Professor Thorgy for saying that, because what else? Final page spoilers. What else could be broken in that picture? What else could be shocking? His hand isn't bleeding. Yeah, it is actually. See, that's the color artist. Again, color artist not doing a good job. He's making the blood black. What was your name? Dean White? Yeah, bro. I hate to, because it's hard to judge artwork. I just didn't like the artwork, man. I didn't like the artwork. I did like most of the writing in here, aside from the decision to have 4 human beings show up in Krakoa and wreck shit. I wish their methods would have been more difficult or more well thought out from the writer. If they were just a little bit more like, oh, no wonder they got into the Krakoa nation. Krakoa didn't have any choice. No, all they did was fly down. Why is Krakoa even on a plane route? Why don't the mutants have Sage? Why don't they have a connection with airlines and airports and have an agreement that this is a no-fly zone? That's a thing that happens in the real world. You can ask for a no-fly zone, especially on just your one little island. You can say, listen, there's a whole lot of ocean here and a whole lot of ocean there. Just move around. It'll barely cost you any fuel because you'll only subvert from your direction a little bit. So when the airlines, when the airplanes are flying above Krakoa, I believe that should be a red, like, whoa, people are coming. Is there something I'm missing? Was Sage down with the humans, or is there something that I didn't pick up on? If there was, you can yell at me in the comment section because I will deserve it. But I thought that this was a good comic book, and we'll leave it at good. I would say that was it better than Excalibur? This was on the same level as I thought Excalibur was. Now I'm gonna review New Mutants, and if you're watching this video, and I will post these videos around the same time, that's where you go next. So go there next.